Capricorn 13, a fire worshipper. This degree studies the concept of magic. How does magic work? What is magic? What's its relationship to mysticism? Are they the same thing? Well, in fact, they're not really the same thing in outer expression, but inwardly, you can't imagine one without the other. The mystic moves away from the hustle and bustle in order to have a direct experience of God. And this doesn't really work unless you've shut down most of your attachments to people and things and activities, at least for a significant period of time, so that you can almost forget who you are. You certainly forget a lot of how you are and how you interact. So the mystic moves away from the world in order to know God. Whereas the magician walks into the world with the knowledge of God and what that can do, what that is. And the secret which is known by the magician is that life is just a mirror. We are living in a delusion, all of us. Each of us has their own delusion, and it's different for all of us. There are similarities, of course, and some laws that operate in this world which we share. So you can't pretend that there is no gravity or that you can live without eating. Not convincingly. So there are certain hard-coded rules to the society that we're living in and to the reality that we're living in. But most of it is subject to our will and our perception. The fire referred to in the title is a metaphor for will. The fire worshipper looks at fire, tunes into fire, sees how fire is. And if you would do that, if you would look at a fire frequently and you study it, and you study all of it, how to create fire, how to control fire, how to dampen fire, how to fuel fire, what burns, what does not, really study how fire is and what fire is, you get the best metaphor that there is for the study of magic. It's profoundly interesting stuff, fire. It's not really stuff at all. It's the spark of transformation that we're seeing. And this isn't just outside of us in the fireplace or in the woods. It's in our very body. The interaction of cells in the body is a fiery interaction. There's fire within us. And this is the fire of transformation. That's what fire is. It's evidence of transformation. And so the magician is a master of creating transformation. In other words, here's the way things are. The magician acts. They're different now. And they're different in the way wanted or desired or chosen by the magician. Excuse me. Learning how to do this is a part of life's mystery. In one sense, all of us have to be magicians in order to cope with life. It's not an unnatural or extravagantly exceptional ability. And it's not a stage conjurer either that has tricks. Magic is the process whereby the will operates on this field of potential which we call life, so that transformation occurs. And that transformation will follow the dictates of what is in the mind as we do this transformational process. Therefore, we have to clarify the mind. We have to make sure the mind is really focused on optimistic outcomes. It's clear-minded, it's not confused, it doesn't want this and that at the same time. It wants one thing only at a time. The clear-mindedness of magic is pretty obvious. It isn't quite so obvious that the heart also needs to be clear. We need to have a clear heart, a true heart. What that means is that we have faith, that we trust that what we are is good, that we have every right to operate the power that we feel. Without this stillness in the heart, then there's a distortion, and that distortion can take the form of failure. It just won't work. Or creating something that's not wholesome, not suitable for our own goodness of being in the very deepest and longest term sense of that phrase. So if we wish harm upon another, that's a distortion. That won't do us any good. It might seem like it does in the short term, but if you look in the longer term, you'll find that trying to harm somebody else is counterproductive to your own happiness. It's not going to work in magical terms. It'll backfire. So what are called black magicians, they inevitably come to grief. So we're talking about people who are centered in the heart, in love, clear in the mind, and the third force here is will. The fire of will in the belly. Well, it's not really in the belly, but it's a centered sense of self. So I think some mystics would say it centers in the hara, the operation of ego power is centered in the center of your being. So this fire in the belly, shall we call it, is an aspect of magic. We need to be truly enthusiastic. Now, if we can bring that quality to all aspects of life and live with that awareness constantly, then we've mastered the processes of magic. In order to do this, we need to remember the mystic's experience. So meditation, daily meditation, prayer. There are different things, meditation and prayer. Meditation is the mystic experience and prayer is the magician's experience. So prayer is pretty much saying, thank you, this is, it's coming to me. And we're not, in supplication here, we're not asking someone else to do something for us. And we're not apologizing for anything. We're simply saying, I've chosen this and I'm grateful for it. That act of gratitude is a magical power. That attracts what it is we've chosen to have. So prayer really is the operation of expectant gratitude. If we live in those worlds where we can constantly live prayerfully, where we can constantly live in a meditative kind of way, if we are free of the distractions and attachments and stresses and strains of ordinary life, if we're free of that so that we can live in this exalted state of meditation and prayer, then with this fire of magic, we get to be, well, very powerful, and we cause great influence in the world, which of course means that we have a great deal of responsibility to be sensitive to the needs of a situation, and also to be creative, to align with the force of creation means that we have to be creative, and we have to trust, we have to have faith that we are an agency through which the Creator is creating. So we're a facet of God. This faith is proof of magic, and it's the operation of magic too.